Howdy, Joe here. Uh, it's Easter Tuesday. What an odd day to notice, eh? And the sun's peeking around the building, um, in the early springtime and, highlighting the eyes. So I thought I'd take a peek and see how that kind of looks. And, it's being Easter Tuesday. Wow, so much news. And I'm a Canadian and I'm feeling an inclination to speak up. And a crazy American threat against civilization for some rotten rich kids, testosterone posturing, and threatening a culture that goes back 10 times longer than his country's upcoming anniversary, which he is also disrespecting in 1,000 ways. Gosh. I, of course, have more to say, um, but I just wanted to do a check-in before addressing things a bit more thoughtfully, with a logical structure. So back in a bit, okay? But here for now. And uh, Easter Tuesday continued, and howdy. I was out listening to some news, and gee, word from Prime Minister Carney and news reports of stepping back from a breach of a threat to civilization for a 2-week break to a truce to not go to war, stepping back, both sides, from a breach, a threat, a grievous one to civilization. So, what are we going to talk about for a couple of weeks, eh? Um, he wants to, he's got a compulsion for riding the ratings, like an attention whore. He wants to be the center of all attention. And it's pathological. And how do you deal with a threat like that? Um, Howdy. Um, Gee, I gotta figure it. I gotta come back with real points. Okay, thank you. Call a spade a shovel, buddy boy. Somebody just took the world and put a gun against its head and threatened it for attention and the tension. He's a tension junkie. Into rape as well, but you two don't allow talk like that, eh? How does the world step back from the brink and assert sanity? I'm a bit of a Canadian, and maybe I've got a bit of neighborly chatterbox advice to suggest. Um, I was recently reading about Iran Xerxes cut a canal across a Greek peninsula as a part of his invasion of Greece 2,500 years ago. And the cylinder of Darius includes no slavery, freedom of religion, multi-ethnic tolerance, and other things. And you think, gosh, from a Canadian point of view, sometimes we hold too many shameful silences. Uh, it turns into tacit consent. Um, the U.S. previously overthrew a democratic government of Iran and put in a puppet government that gave them a 40% cut of the oil revenues for the next few decades. Yes. Subject to audit, eh? And where'd that pile of money go, eh? Um, Maybe that might be a part of the conversation, as in remembering a bit of loot, or remembering another gift was that it was Cyrus of Persia who supported the Jews' freedom from Babylon enslavement and bought the temple, paid paid for a temple in Jerusalem. Jeez. Um, Mentioning global stuff. I'm into wordplay and conversation. Um, and something seems to me a label can be reconfigured to invite a new facet of view or a different way of looking at things. And so I was thinking about Jews-you-salaam instead of Jerusalem. Jews-you-salaam. Give peace to. Um, is that a hypothesis that Islam could swallow? Um, that they need a place in this world as much as you do. And the Trumpian theater ain't maybe the best way for me to make a few suggestions, but connects can be on the smart side, and but I'm an odd one, and I've done more self-study than academic. Uh, but I did a piece of political philosophy in university. One of my heroes is Hannah Arendt, and she wrote an essay about democracies and how citizens talk together in a polis. That's the root word of policy, politics, police, all those other things, named for a polis. And a polis is a gathering of citizens who talk, who have a public voice, and not just gossip or chatter. They pick up chores and responsibilities and goals, and they exercise their ideas and their abilities in concert with one another. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And it actually works sometimes. And anyway, the essay is called The Revolutionary Tradition and Its Lost Treasure. And it's about reviving the citizen's voice. And so that'll be among the things that I'll chatter about. And Easter Tuesday, I'm going to call this Easter Tuesday just because call it something and see what comes of it. Uh, Something I'd like to request is an assessment report for an intelligent citizen of Canada from not just the Canadian Intelligence Service, but the Five Eyes. Um, could they do a report for us uh, on their assessment of how to deal with this rogue individual? And gosh, there's just so much in need of saying, and which is the next right thing. And sometimes that mulling takes a bit. And so, sorry to be a bore. I can't say everything, but I can say something. So here's a few things. Civilization is in a moment, and because somebody's got a kink for October Crisis 63, um, shoving the world to a brink for a thrill. What a cruel. The sadism of it, the fuckery. He's riding us for a thrill. Um, 2 weeks to pull something together. How about I propose I'll pull together some thoughts over the next 2 weeks, maybe an hour or so of chatter on one thing or another, and see how things go. Um, I wish I were more eloquent or photogenic or all that stuff, but I'm myself. Um, Threatening the world is not okay, even though it's implicit every day since 48 or so. Um, make a declaration of peace for not just Iran, but for Ukraine and for Russia. That snow and ice is thawing, and there's a lot of devastation in Russia in need of desperate repair. And Putin's losing this war. He's lost already. He's got to help his own people recover. Stealing from Gold City capital and they're freezing to death. Such a big, complex scenario. Oh, Cameroonians died in Russia on the Ukraine front. Like a declaration of peace. Why? Um, because a lot of people are grievously stupid and gotta stand back and let maybe some smarter folks um pick up the guidance for a while. Um, Another is that global warming's not a myth. It's happening and ocean levels will be rising. Um, Actually, the previous interglacial, uh, about 125, 130,000 years ago, um, its peak was higher than the water is now, and there are beaches and levees left over from earlier high tides around the 3 meter higher level, the 6 meter higher level, and the 9 meter higher level, depending on subsidence and various other factors uh, in play over those a little over 100,000 years. Anyways, if you do some scouting around the coast for these erosion banks at varying levels from 3 to 9 meters higher than the water is now. So you know you'd have to go quite far back from the current beach to find the old ones. But they're there. And if you scout them out and map them out, put them up and broadcast it, that's the kind of sea level rise we're looking at. And that requires a lot of attention. And these theatrics and distractions are pulling us away from serious work in need of doing and care and responsibilities that are being neglected. Negligence is can become a crime, and sometimes I feel that too. I gotta speak up. So, Easter Tuesday, call this one, and howdy, I'm Joe, and oh, I thought enter enter like a friend, because Trump's particularly unfriendly to pretty well everyone. Anyone's either a tool or a mark or any. He's not very successful with his long-term friendships. Um, and breaking up with Canada over an agreement that he signed and called a wonder and a marvel. Our three countries are symbiotic, mutually interdependent. You can't turn that into essay without it being noticed. Oh, if America wants to turn thuggish, maybe you'll consider Trumpistan. He wants his name on things. That'd be grim, eh? Uh, More to come. I'll try to do one a day for the next 2 weeks, and I'll try to be more focused. And thank you for your attention. and exercise your attention a bit more carefully, eh? Notice what you notice. Okay. Thank you kindly. Be well.